Well, Lightning, if you make a bracket and you put the Lightning win in the cup, don't make a bracket, because that's just not going to happen.
Hello and welcome back
Hello, viewers,
to another episode of the Zamboni Zone. I'm back here with LQ. Nick, now, what did I tell you?
I don't know, what did you tell me?
Well, you doubted the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that seems to have backfired on you. We're going to start off with talking a little bit about the Stanley Cup final.
Backfired?
Well,
it's because of me the Lightning won the cup. It's because of me that the Lightning won, because if I never said that, I mean, I don't think they would have won the cup, and then we would have the Stars winning the cup.
So let me ask you something. Are you taking credit for the work of not only...
Zach Bogosian, yes.
No, not only Steve Yzerman, former general manager, not only Yzerman, but, you know, Stamkos with his one goal. We got Bogosian, we got Kucherov, we got Point, we got Andre Palat, we got Tyler Johnson. Vasilevsky. You're taking credit... Victor Hedman, I couldn't forget about him.
I mean...
You're taking credit for all their accomplishments.
I mean, mostly Bogosian.
So you personally were on the ice and won the Stanley Cup for the Lightning.
In Bogosian's body, yes.
No, you were not. So, with that, let's move on to talking about the Stanley Cup final for just a minute here. Stars, I'm not going to kick them while they're down here, but I'm not disappointed.
Screw you, Stars.
No. What? I'm not disappointed that they lost. That's all I'm going to say. But I will say that I thought maybe there was a chance we'd be able to forgive them after what they did in '99 and move past it now that they've lost a cup final for the second time themselves, because they did lose 2000 also. But I don't think we're going to be able to do that until they lose in controversial fashion. So
to the Sabres.
No, any team really, but
to the Sabres.
As long as it's controversial.
To the Sabres.
So there was nothing really controversial about this, so I'm just going to have to say the hatred for the Stars will continue.
Time ticks down! The Lightning win the Stanley Cup! They have reached the top of the mountain! They are the Stanley Cup champs!
Now they, once again, know how it feels. Almost.
The Stars put up a great fight there, but Vasilevsky really stole that series. He was excellent on all those games. You know, I doubted him for a minute there. I didn't think he was going to be quite the goaltender he was, but I guess his experience in the 2015 Stanley Cup final against the Blackhawks actually helped him to realize that, you know, once you lose, you may never get back there, so the time is now to win.
You know, I gotta say, I don't hate any of the Stars players specifically. You know, they seem like a good bunch of guys, but, you know, they wear that jersey, so I can't like them. But they did put up a good fight, they played hard. I feel like they were definitely the hardest working team out there, physicality-wise. They were the most physical team.
Whatever you say. Moving on, let's talk about the draft a little bit. All right, that's enough about the draft. I'm kidding. Now, being a Sabres fan, sometimes they get you doubting yourself here. I mean, by the time they got to draft at the 8th pick, Cole Perfetti, Marco Rossi still available on the board, but they decided to go with Jack Quinn. Now, Jack Quinn played on the same team as Rossi, and a lot of people would probably say that Rossi was the better option, but, you know, I'm thinking there's something sneaky about him. He reminds me of the NFL's Josh Allen. Cut from his team way back in, I think it was Pee Wee or Bantam, decided that no, that wasn't good enough for him. He wanted to win, so he found a way to get in, and now he's been drafted to an NHL team. He was one of the top scorers in the league that he played in for the Ottawa 67s.
He was the second highest scorer in the league.
It just, if he has that work ethic, it seems like we might have a steal there.
Yeah, I mean, Sabres, they just got Stahl as another center fill-in, and I think they definitely needed to fill out a lot of those wings, and he was a winger, and that was one thing. Rossi was a center, so...
Yes. Now Rossi's going to Minnesota, and we all know Minnesota, the place where dreams go to die.
Yeah.
As they have now started what looks like at least a retooling. I don't know if it's a rebuild fully, but it's definitely a retooling. They've traded Dubnyk. They've added some new depth in younger players. They got Bonino. They're really doing some interesting things up there.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it works out for them.
So, aside from the draft, we've had a few weeks off here just to really soak it in and see how everything's going to work out. We've also got free agency.
And oh boy, a lot has happened.
Let's start with goaltender movement. Tons of goaltender movement throughout free agency. Some of the bigger names, Braden Holtby, he's with the Canucks now. So, I joked about Jacob Markstrom being a questionable goalie. Not bad, but questionable. And it looks like the Canucks feel the same way because they've decided to part ways with him and upgrade. Now, that being said, my second favorite team, the Flames, decided that Markstrom was the option. So now I'm going to have to watch Markstrom a lot more. So,
ooh boy, I love to see how he does in
I'm going to get to watch a lot. I'm going to get to watch a lot of him. He's always
You really get to study him. I know you're a big Vancouver fan.
Yeah, no, he's on the Flames now, not the
No,
Canucks.
I know. I'm saying you're always a Vancouver fan, so getting a goalie like that, it's just a dream come true for you.
Well, let's just say Markstrom is probably better than the guy he replaced, Cam Talbot, and Talbot's going to Minnesota because, as we
Isn't
know,
he old?
Minnesota is where dreams go to die. No, he's not really that old.
No.
He was Henrik Lundqvist's backup at one point. Speaking of Lundqvist, all these goalies are apparently connected today. Hank is going not where I predicted, actually, originally. I thought he might be a veteran backup to one of these guys like Merzlikins or something like that, but he's not going to Columbus. He's going to Washington. Since Holtby decided that he didn't want to play there anymore, he's going to be fighting for the starting job with Samsonov. The two of them are really going to be battling it out. Hank knows his role. He's going to try and teach the guy how to play, but don't think for a minute that he's going to lay down and give the guy the job. He's going to want to win that position.
I don't know. I don't believe in him to get
You
it.
don't believe in Hank?
I think he's little bit past his ripening point.
So you're saying you don't? Do you think the Rangers or the Capitals have a better defensive core in front of them?
Defensive wise, I think the Rangers have an up and coming defense.
I don't think so. Not anymore.
They have D'Angelo, who is a rising
D'Angelo
star.
and Adam Fox, but they got rid of guys like Mark Stahl and Brady Shea, and they kind of.
Other than
I don't know what they're
Carlson,
doing. I don't know what they're doing.
I think both teams are. I think the Rangers might be an up and up team in the next couple years. I think the Capitals are going down.
Matt Murray, questionable goalie. Always questionable. Started out with 2 Stanley Cups in the first 2 years of his career, and it's been all downhill from there. Sometimes, you get all your winning in up front, and after that, nothing else. Let's look at where Murray's going to. He's been moved to the Ottawa Senators. Now, for all you fans out there, let me know if you're an Ottawa fan. I only know one in my own life, and after years of disappointment, losing Erik Karlsson, and the Senators team going from a conference final contender to one of the worst in the league.
Consistently.
He hasn't been really chirping me much about the Senators, but I don't blame him. The guy's also a Devils fan, so the two teams he votes for don't really have much to look forward to.
Oh yeah.
Nonetheless, Murray's going to go there, probably become their starter, and that'll conclude
Murray's
all
career
but
in
one.
hockey.
No, not Murray's career, but that'll conclude all but one of our goaltender movement segment here. The final goaltender that will be moving to a new team, at least the big name goaltenders. I didn't look at every single person because obviously there's smaller ones like I think Louis Domingue's going to Calgary, but let's the bigger one, Corey Crawford. He's been with the Blackhawks for almost his entire career, if not the whole thing. I'm not sure, but he's going to be going to New Jersey. So the Devils that I was just talking about, picking up I don't know if I'd call him a number one goaltender. He might be just a veteran to teach Mackenzie Blackwood to take over, but definitely solid enough to play way better than any backup you're going to find on the market. So we'll see how that goes.
I definitely think the Devils need to make some moves here. They're in a tough spot in their hockey career. They gotta ramp up there everywhere, every position.
Mm-hmm. Now talking about goaltender still, let's go to Vegas here. Las Vegas recently signed Robin Lehner. I believe it was a 5-year deal. So they've locked down a secure number one goaltender, let's say, at this point in his career. Now, speaking of Vegas, another guy they just signed, or actually they haven't signed him yet, but they're looking into signing him. I know they moved, I think they're talking about moving Schmidt to possibly Florida. I think that rumor might not be true, but Nate Schmidt, good defenseman. If they don't move him, then this might not happen. But the rumor here is that Pietrangelo is looking into signing in Vegas.
Really?
He was touring around the city, and usually if you go to a city to check it out, that might mean you're interested. So, big name player there. Another big name defenseman, Kevin Shattenkirk. Nick, you're the Ducks fan, so you tell me about that one.
I am. Shattenkirk has recently signed with the Ducks. You know, I think the Ducks really need the help on the defensive end. I think they need help on the offensive end more.
Now, the Ducks did draft
but-
Drysdale, defenseman, in the draft, so they stick with their theme of drafting good stud defensemen, like, you know, sort of like they did with Cam Fowler back in the day. Sabres similarly re-signed Montour, former Duck, there. So another couple years in, well, I think it's 2 years, 2 years more in Buffalo with Brandon Montour.
Yeah, moving on to Torrey Krug. I think the biggest name in this free agency
Biggest
on the
surprise,
defense,
really.
the defensive end.
Biggest surprise, really. Torrey Krug. Pietrangelo was holding off on signing with anyone because he wanted to see what the Blues were going to do or offer him, and he wanted to check out Vegas too. But I guess the Blues got a little impatient here, didn't want to take a chance on it, so instead of re-signing Pietrangelo, they went out and got Torrey Krug. So sometimes that'll teach you a little bit of a lesson. Don't play games with your teams if there's other people available for them to sign, because teams get a little impatient. They don't want to be left with a big hole on the back end there, so if they've got the money, they're going to go out and sign someone, and that's what the Blues did here.
Yeah, I think that definitely took Pietrangelo by surprise. I remember hearing quotes about him being just shocked. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens.
Well, a lot of offensive movement as well. We got Wayne Simmons going to Toronto with former Sabre, also Jimmy Vesey. So 2 former Sabres moving up north there. I guess they like Canada better. I'm going to miss Vesey, one of my all-time favorite players.
Yeah, Vesey's a very popular name in this household, apparently.
One of my favorite players.
I don't think the Sabres will miss either of those guys, but, you know.
Tobias Reeder, Davidson. I mean, Sabres really adding some solid number 1 pieces there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's just up there with Eichel, you know.
But don't
forget about
don't
Irwin
let them fool
Cody
you.
Eakin actually is good.
Don't let them fool you. Cody Eakin's there, but that's not the guy everyone's talking about. The guy everyone's talking about, Taylor Hall.
Taylor Hall.
Biggest name on the market. Former Coyote, former Devil,
Former
Oiler.
Oiler. Former
And now-
Hart Trophy winner.
former Hart Trophy winner, and now a Buffalo Sabre. A lot of people have said that this move doesn't make sense for Hall. They say, oh, why would you want to go play in Buffalo when you wanted to win in the playoffs? Well, let me tell you something, folks. Anyone that says that is wrong. The answer is he is the reason that Buffalo is going to win in the playoffs. He is one of the key pieces in this offense. Now, we've added other key pieces like Stahl, and we're going to have Dylan Cousins probably developing into a star player. Victor Olofsson will be back from injury because he was, if you all forgot, he was injured for most of last season. And he probably would have won the Calder Trophy if he hadn't been. He was on fire.
Maybe,
Now-
yeah.
now,
Then
if
we
you
got
get-
people like Tage Thompson coming up, too.
If you get your top 6 there, you got Eichel, Skinner, Olofsson, and then you got Stahl, you got Hall. That's going to be interesting. Stahl to Hall, to Hall to Stahl.
I feel like
And
Taylor Hall is going to be with
Who's our
Eichel.
other winger there? I mean, maybe Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, yeah.
Probably
definitely
Reinhardt, and then-
Reinhardt. I feel like it's going to be
that's a whole
Taylor
new team
Hall,
right there.
Jack Eichel, and in the center, and then Reinhardt, and then it's going to be Eric Stahl with Skinner and Olofsson.
Now, we've eliminated
It's just a
guys
couple of
like
those around,
Johan Larsson, too. He's gone to the Coyotes. So, really, I feel like this is an entirely new team. It's not even the same team anymore. We look way better by just adding 2 key pieces, Stahl and Hall. And that's what we needed to do a long time ago. I didn't think we were that far out. We were only 0.001 percentage points out from the 2014 play-in round, just behind Montreal. And had we played that game against Montreal, like I said, I mean, we might have made it in, we might not have, but we're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about next season here. And I think we have a real opportunity to win here. So I look forward to Hall being on this team.
I'm ready to get disappointed
Now,
again.
I think he's looking for a long-term future here. One of the things a lot of people don't know is that Taylor Hall is good friends with Ralph Kruger.
Head coach
He
of the
played
Buffalo
for
Sabres.
him when he was on the Oilers in, I think it was 2013. A real close relationship there, and that sometimes is all it takes to get a player to consider a city that you wouldn't have thought they would.
No.
So that's really where I'm at Taylor Hall. And around the league, a few other big names moving places. We got Tyler Toffoli just today signed with Montreal. That's going to be interesting for our divisional rivalry with Montreal because they are, in fact, in the Atlantic Division. And Mikko Koivu going to Columbus. So
now he's old, right?
Long-time career Minnesota Wild player moving over to the Columbus Blue Jackets, starting fresh for the first time in his whole career, at least in the NHL. So that'll be interesting to see how he fits in there.
I swear I've seen the Columbus Blue Jackets just make tons of moves in this offseason.
They made a few. Columbus did trade Josh Anderson for Max Domi also, so a big trade there, Domi for Anderson. Whatever they're doing, it's coming together.
Yeah, I'm sure they know what they're doing.
And let's get on to our final piece of information for today's show. Some new jerseys in the league. One of my favorite topics, jerseys. We've got Las Vegas. They have decided to unveil a gold jersey. Now, this is about time because they are, in fact, the Golden Knights. And gold, just fitting. It looked good.
It's in the name.
So I'll let you get a look at that right here. And let me know what you think. I really like this jersey, and I think it's going to be interesting, and I'll have to add it to my list for my collection. The other jersey that was first displayed in the draft, that they released the logo before, but they hadn't released the jersey yet, was the Ottawa Senators. They are, in fact, going with the black jerseys with the new logo, but they are using, it looks like red stripes, 2 red stripes on the sleeves, so that'll be interesting to see as well on the ice. I do like the black that they chose. I'm grateful they didn't use the red. I do like the red also, don't get me wrong. I hope they have a third jersey that's red, but the black homes, that's pretty clean.
You know, I do like black outfits. I think a whole blackout sort of theme would be very cool.
Yeah, they could have like black gloves, black helmets, black socks,
pants, black
pants. That would be intimidating.
Very cool.
Intimidating. The
Tampa Bay New Orleans Saints.
Well, the Tampa Bay Lightning did a similar thing also. They had the black jerseys that said Bolts on them. They also had like a faded black, and I wasn't a fan of that version of it, but yeah, the New Orleans Saints do a nice job with that, so always cool to see how teams can make themselves more intimidating and try and win games through their mind. So, from us here at the studio, go Sabres.
Go Thrashers.
And we'll see you next time.
I'm ready to get disappointed
Now,
again.